Ladies and gentlemen, joining me now is a man who has a job that only 32 people on the planet have. It's the top of the top when it comes to football IQs. He's got a nice southern draw. He's been around the NFL. He's a friend of the show. And right now, his Indianapolis Colts look absolutely majestic on Sundays. The general manager of your Indianapolis Colts, Chris Ballard.
But it's probably more than I deserve, that's for sure. But thanks for having me on.
It's not right now. Your team is hot right now. You 1-5 at the beginning of the season, then you rattle off 3 straight victories. Things have to be feeling pretty good at the Indianapolis Colts facility, Mr. Ballard.
You know, it's funny because Frank and I talk about this, and I know Frank talks with the team, and we talk with the staff. Is that just? I mean, you know, from being in this league, it is such a week-to-week league, and people react either negatively or positively, over the top, either way, no matter what happens on Sunday. And, you know, Frank and both of us have a mindset, we reset every week. You reset, you know, at every point. And there was, even when we were 1-5, I didn't feel like we were a 1-5 team, but we just talked about every week, let's just reset no matter what happened on Sunday, and let's keep getting better. Let's just keep working to get better. Let's keep working the plan that we have in place. Keep helping our players do the best they can do, be the best players they can be the best men they can be in every area, and keep working. And that's kind of the mindset we have now.
Well, I think that's a very good mindset because which I'm assuming a lot of guys, our happiness, we're slaves literally to wins and losses in the NFL. Every single week, winning cures all, winning is happiness. Whenever you get on that losing stride there, 1-5 at the beginning, now you're on a winning streak. It's incredible that you're able to keep that positive spin on it with Frank. Do you feel like Jim Irsay has some patience in what you and Frank are building? Do you think he sees the vision of what you have in place and what's cooking?
There's no doubt that all this great success that this place has had, even through Bill Polian and when Ryan was here those first few years, where Mr. Irsay is, and I agreed. I remember when I interviewed for the job, I said I don't want to take a Band-Aid approach. I want guys that are Colts, that we've drafted, that we've brought in, that we've developed, that are tied to this organization, that are tied to this community, much like how you came in.
Yes, sir.
You're an original Colt, and you're in this community, and into this community. And I want our players to be that. And I think when guys come in together, they grow together. You know, they go through the hardships, they go through the hard times, and that just creates a strong bond and brotherhood that, you know, that locker room needs. And I think he is absolutely all in on that aspect.
In preseason, I got a chance to talk to you and Frank and TY at training camp. And I asked you, because at that point, Lev Bell was liking every Instagram post. Khalil Mack was on the market. I said, you have $50-some million to spend, Chris. Will you go after any big names? You said that you would like to build the culture first with the young guys. I want to get the culture established so that when guys come in, they can fit in. With Darius Leonard, the way he's been playing, the way Luck is. Quentin Nelson, we'll talk about that lunatic here in a little bit, but do you feel as if the culture is being built in that building, one that you absolutely like? I see videos from inside the locker room. The team seems to really like each other. Everything seems to be looking great on the field. Is the culture going in the manner that you expected and that you want?
Well, I think, and you know, I talked to the team about this, you know, and during training camp, right when we started training camp, and I know Frank talks about it, but we can do everything we want internally in terms of nutrition, strength, recovery, training room, coaching. They can be all high level, but at the end of the day, the locker room drives the train.
Yep.
It does. The locker room drives the train, and they have to be able to police each other, and they have to be able to hold each other accountable, and they can't let anything that gets in the way of winning and it can't tolerate anything that gets in the way of winning. And I think that mindset is starting to come on. And look, over time, you know, when guys play together and they go through the ups and downs together, I think they do start to get that bond that you have to have. And it's one of the great things about the locker room. I mean, they all come from different backgrounds, different races, different religions. But that's the great thing about the locker room, is they're all accepting of one another. It doesn't mean they all have to like each other and be best friends, but they all have to have respect, and also all have to have the same goal, and that's winning. At the end of the day, that's winning and being the best they can be, and they have to push each other. And I think, it's been fun to watch. We have a good group of young players in here, and we also have some veteran players that I think have really done a nice job showing the way. I mean, it's one of the things I really respect about Adam Vinatieri. Adam Vinatieri shows these young guys exactly what a pro is. What you have the greatest kicker of all time in your building. To watch him work on a daily basis and to watch how he prepares, that's influence, and he has a great influence. So it's fun to watch. The culture is fun to watch grow.
All right. I got to ask you. You drafted Quentin Nelson in the first round. You sent a message to Colts fans everywhere. You sent a message to Andrew Luck. Listen, the years of you getting ragtagged are done. The years of you needing surgeries on top of surgeries and a pitch count are done. It's my job to protect you. So not only with Quentin Nelson, but that offensive line is on a historic rate right now for giving up sacks. They're not giving up any of them. Did you see the clip of him yelling like Bobby Boucher, like a lunatic, turning the corner and killing Barry Church? And how has that offensive line come together so well and so beautifully?
Well, I'll give a lot of credit to our staff, number one. Frank and Gooch both have done it, and Bobby Johnson have all done a tremendous job of instilling a system and putting a system that I think is quarterback friendly and helps him get the ball out of his hands. But number two, the one thing Gooch has done a great job with that group is making them understand that it's all five of them, how they prepare together. We can have the most talent in the world, but all five of them have to play together. And, between Costanzo and Nelson and Ryan Kelly and Glowinski and Braden Smith, those five coming together and playing as a unit. I mean, one of them can be off a little bit and it screws up the whole unit. And it's one of the great things I really like about Nelson. I mean, I know with the tweet and the individual plays, but I think the world needs to understand, and our fans need to understand, is this kid is as good a teammate. He's all about team. He's all about the O-line. He doesn't want the spotlight on him because there's other guys. I think Ryan Kelly's playing at an extremely high level. Oh, yeah. I think Costanzo's playing at a very high level coming back from the injury. Glowinski's been a very pleasant surprise. I mean, we ended up keeping 10 linemen, and we kept Glowinski because we thought he could play and help as we got into the season. And then Braden Smith, I wish I could have told you I thought he was a right tackle coming out. I thought he was going to be a guard, or he could be a really good guard, but he's ended up playing really good at right tackle. And I give credit to Morocco Brown, who was one of the scouts that scouted him, and Gooch both thought he could be a right tackle. But watching those five come together and play together, that's winning football. And we've said it from the start, Pat. I mean, we're going to build from inside out. That's how this team's going to be built. And I think when you get your foundation set and they're strong, and you get good quarterback play, you build in around the rest of it as you go along. That's winning. That's going to win football games over the long haul.
You win every game in the trenches, whether you like it or not. It's either on the offensive line or defensive line. It's the way it goes. It doesn't matter how much football changes. The trenches are a big deal. So you're going to just act and not say anything about the guy you drafted in the first round, pulling and screaming like a madman and then burying a guy until the guy actually lets out a fuck sigh at the end of the play? Did you see that? You had to have watched it.
I have to be honest with you. I've heard. I'd be interested to know if it was exactly accurate, the screaming part from it.
Oh,
I know the block was accurate. Without question, I know the block was very accurate.
Is this fake news?
I stay off of Twitter, to be quite honest with you, Pat.
You're missing it. We love it over there. Quentin Nelson is a legend right now across all NFL locker rooms and on the internet for that huge hit. And I don't know if you took any heat for drafting him in the first round because it was a Notre Dame guy, so it's Indiana. But I think your vision is really coming together right now. It has to feel pretty good for old Chris Ballard.
Well, look, all it takes is one bad Sunday, and Chris Ballard stinks again. So I kind of get I get the ups and downs of it. I kind of just roll with day to day, Pat.
Oh, God damn it. Chris Ballard sucks again. We won 3 in a row. Now we lost a game. This fucking guy. That would be hilarious. That would be so funny, man. Do you talk to like neighbors in Indiana? Like, do you just live in your own little bubble with your family? Like, do you go to work and just stay in with your family, or do you have conversations with outsiders?
No, I get out. I'm not. Look, the one thing about me is I'm not scared to show up when it's not good, because I know it doesn't bother. I don't mind asking questions. I mean, I know the direction we're going, so I'm out in public. I love. One of my favorite things to do on game day is, and I always go. Last few weeks, I've gone out and visited with the Blue Crew, the tailgate group for the game, and that group is freaking awesome. I mean, they are rocking from 8 o'clock in the morning on and getting ready to roll, man. So I go out, and I love seeing our fans. I think we got great fans in this state. And look, it's easy to show up when you're winning, but you got to show up all the time. You got to be honest and can't be scared to show up when things aren't quite rosy.
That's a smart move, by the way. You going out there and mingling a little bit, becoming a little bit more of a human-sided than in just general manager. I think we need to get the stadium a lot louder. I don't know how you're going to do that. I was in there the other day kicking for the grandpa. You need to get that stadium a little bit louder.
Yeah, so when you win, you give people some excitement, some excitement to cheer for. that gets it nice and loud. I know you're in the moment. I know the football season is a grind. I know that. But your job is to look out for the future of the Indianapolis Colts. You've said the culture needs to be built before you bring anybody in. You have a big bank coming up, a big purse coming up with an owner that is not scared to send a plane all over the country to fly people in to potentially be an Indianapolis Colt. Have you had your eyes peeled or had any scouts looking around for possible free agents or for people that could possibly fit into the Indianapolis Colts well? Or are you worried about this year? You'll figure that out in the offseason. No, we'll start meeting in December. Every week I take a day. I'm usually 2 days a week I'm watching college, or I'll go to games. Then one day a week I'll watch, potential free agents for next year. And, we'll always base it on, and I've said this a bunch, Pat, that, people, you don't win games in March. You just don't. Just because you go and sign a big-ticket free agency. I think you played on teams where you signed big-ticket guys.
They were bad.
It doesn't guarantee wins when you get to September. So you have to find the right fit for the player. He's got to be the right fit for the culture. He's got to be the right fit for the city. A lot of things have to fall in place. And I know people get excited, when you sign a guy that you think, oh, this is going to be the one missing piece that gets us over the hump. But I said this about Andrew. It's not about one guy. It's about all 63 of them. And we got to make sure we're always getting the right fit, for the player. And look, as these young guys continue to progress in their careers, and they become, very good players and their contracts are up, we're not going to lose them. And so that money will evaporate faster than people think. That cap space will evaporate faster than people think whenever you start handing out contracts to your own people. I mean, you want your own players to know when they do the right things, when they're good pros, when they're working, when they're adding value to that locker room, we're going to take care of them. We're going to make them Colts for a long time. And what I don't want to do is be in a situation where we have spent money foolishly on players that have earned it somewhere else, and then we bring in. That's a slippery slope, and you got to be very careful.
I think that's probably the smart way to build a team, if I had to guess right there. I feel like you sounded very intelligent in that answer, Chris, because I was hoping
that might have been the only and that doesn't happen very often, Pat. So will you make sure you replay that a bunch of times?
Hey, Chris Ballard sucks again. Okay, so Josh McDaniels told you to go fornicate yourself. He flew, he was on a plane to Indianapolis, and he turned around back to New England. You got Frank Reich out of the deal, and Frank Reich answered in a press conference my question that the backup role has suited him well. He seems, this is just from the outside in because I haven't seen him inside, but the videos I watch, he seems like such a natural head coach. How has this first season been going with Frank?
You know what's fun? Because he's not a backup, that's for sure.
Yeah, amen. He's not at all.
You know what's fun? And every head coach I've been around in this league that I think is right. I mean, like I was with Lovie Smith, Andy Reid he's off the charts, unbelievable. And I put Frank right there. They're very comfortable in their own skin. They don't worry. They know what they believe in. They're going to work the plan, and they have a great deal of confidence in themselves to get it done. And I think it plays in the locker room. You know, when you are who you are, and you don't try to change who you are on a daily basis, players respect that. I mean, they have great respect for guys that are the same guy. So I think it works out. It always works out the way it's supposed to. I feel very fortunate to be able to work with Frank as our head coach, and it's fun to come to work every day.
The internet and the locker room are very similar with two things, is that you can sense any fake. If something isn't genuine, internet can tell and the locker room can tell. So I think that is Frank Reich. Every video I've seen, it seems as if he's just he knows what he wants to do. He's not rah-rah. It's not crazy rah-rah. It looks like the rest of the locker room respects him too while he's talking. If you look around the locker room after those games, you look at the players, it looks like they respect him. It looks like you guys got something really special cooking over there, Chris. I'm proud of you, buddy.
He's just honest. I mean, what's wrong? You know, people, this is what it is. He's just honest. He's the same guy every day. And I think players respect honesty. When you just tell them, good or bad, if you just give them an honest answer and then you help them get better, that's winning football. That's what the good head coaches do in this league.
All right. So you're going to sign Lev Bell or no?
Who?
He's a rapper. He used to be on the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's a local rapper, Le'Veon Bell. You guys are number one odds-on favorite, Chris. Just something to think about. I think it's something to think about.
I don't know who that guy is.
All right, Chris. Good luck on the rest of the year. I'm telling you, as a Colts fan, which I am, every single week watching your team grow and watching kind of your strategy and your ideas come together. I mean, you guys took some beatings there earlier, 1-5. I'm sure there was a lot of noise outside that locker room telling you that you were an idiot, and yet you had a lot of money to spend. You could have built things up, but you had a patience, you had a vision, and it's all coming together, Chris. I'm very, very happy for you, man.
I appreciate it, brother, and I appreciate you, man.
Hey.
You going to be at the game Sunday?
Nah, dog. I'm in Los Angeles.
Where are you going?
I'm in Los Angeles for WWE.
Oh, that a boy.
I know, Chris. Chris, that's where I'm supposed to be, I think. I think I'm supposed to be there. But I did come to a game when you guys crushed Buffalo, and it was so cool to be back in that building. I'm going to have to make a habit out of coming back.
When are you tailgating again? When's your next tailgate?
I know. We got to set up a big one, don't we?
You got to get one. I'll come out.
Okay.
Then if you keep it rocking until after the game,
maybe
it'd be even better for me.
Maybe I do a post-game tailgate because there's nothing really like that. Like players.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because
that's what I'm talking about. I can actually have fun if you did that.
Yeah, see now, and get a win too because you guys are on this winning streak. So get a win in the stadium. Come out afterwards. We have a band playing, maybe a DJ, a couple of drinks. Keep it moving. Yeah, we should do that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, we'll make that happen. You Southern boys, you guys like just that heavy beer, I assume.
All right, brother. Be good.
You got it. Hey, thanks for everything. And also, congrats on the success. It's really cool to watch you guys. Andrew Luck running out of bounds instead of trying to run over people, by the way, really good stuff.
That's all on him, man. He's gotten smart. He's always been smart, but now he's gotten smart with his body.
Oh, that's good. We don't need him dying anymore. Chris, thank you so much. Good luck. I can't wait to watch this Colts team win a Super Bowl in a couple years.
All right, brother. Be good.
Cheers.